Good evening to all my wonderful viewers out there, and welcome back to our sort of, but not really weekly podcast series, which is called Sneakers and Stuff. The series where we cover, the biggest and latest releases in the streetwear, fashion, sneaker, jewelry world. There's a lot to cover in these podcast episodes. Some big topics that we're going to be covering in episode 20 today is that KITH has released a new Air Force One to celebrate its Hawaii flagship store opening. We've got that Kanye West and Balenciaga collaborate for some Donda merch. And we've got that Louis Vuitton has released an iPhone video game. Topics like these and many, many more are going to be covered in today's episode. Welcome back, guys, to episode 20 of our sort of weekly podcast series. It was meant to be weekly, but it turns out releasing a weekly video like this is quite difficult when you work full-time and have to release drop list videos, top 5 videos, a bunch of other videos, and have a bunch of other responsibilities as well. So it's when I can do it. But I would like to be weekly again. I would really love to get this back on track and do this. Top 5 videos, streetwear talk videos. It just sucks, man. Working full time takes all the time out of your day. Anyway, let's get back to it. Episode 20. We have a lot to cover in this episode, and we're going to be covering it exactly like we'd always do in all the other episodes that we've done by splitting this podcast up into 8 sections. So let's dive into what the 8 sections are going to be. Section 1 is a part of the podcast called Sunday's Best Dressed, because, well, the episodes are meant to come out on a Sunday. That is where I dress up in a little fit for you guys, and where I dedicate some of the time to the podcast to fits that you guys send in to me. None of you guys have sent any fits in as of yet, but we can keep dreaming. Maybe one day we'll get there. Either way, I'm still going to come up with a fit for this episode. Section 2 of the podcast is Heat on My Feet. A recent shoe, sneaker, whatever is discussed in that second section there that I've recently been enjoying. Section 3 is recent pickups, where I just cover the pickups that I have recently acquired over the past week or so, or since the last episode. This episode we don't have many, but we still have at least one to talk about. Moving into section 4, which is normally our biggest section of the podcast, which is recent releases. That's covering the recent sneaker releases, streetwear releases, all of those recent releases. I try and cover the regular brands that we cover on the channel, and a couple other ones as well that we don't normally cover in that section there. Moving into section 5, we have streetwear and fashion news and rumors. That's what we'll talk about, obviously, the news and the rumors that are going on in the streetwear and fashion world. Moving into section 6, we have the same thing but for sneakers, so talking about leaks, rumored collabs, rumored releases, all that good stuff there. Moving into section 7, we of course then have upcoming streetwear and fashion releases, talking about the releases that are going to be happening this week. Then moving into our final section, we have section 8, which is upcoming sneaker releases. This will be the same deal, but obviously in the sneaker world instead. That is all the 8 sections, guys. That's it all done there. So we'll now get into it. Let's dive into section 1, which is Sunday's Best Dressed, and have a look at the outfit that I put together for that section. And for episode 20 this week, guys, we have, well, an outfit that I've had recorded for a long time now, actually. What we have is an outfit comprising of a Jeff Hamilton NBA patch jacket, some black Levi's 501s, they're the straight leg cut Levi's, a Uniqlo merino black turtleneck, just a simple easy black turtleneck to wear, and of course, well, you have the A-Leaks jewelry featuring everywhere. Oh, and of course the bread Jordan 1s, we can't forget that. Yes, yeah guys, I really love Jeff Hamilton's unique takes on sports jackets. I wanted this to be the centerpiece of the fit, so I didn't want any pieces to be crazy in color to take away from it. It's very hard to take away from this jacket though. It's got those crazy all over patches and everything. It's a pretty wild piece. I've been wearing the jewelry that I always wear, the rings, the, you know, A-Leagues jewelry and everything like that. Nothing too outlandish there. And really, that's it. That is everything comprising of the fit and it put together. But I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I'd love to see your fits as well. Definitely tag me in them. But yeah, that is the fit for episode 20. And that is section 1, guys. Sunday's best dressed. That is the outfit that I put together for episode 20 a long time ago. If you couldn't tell by the changes there, I will definitely feature any of you guys that send me your outfits via Instagram on episode 21. Just send them my way via IG and then do hashtag Sunday's best dressed, and then I'll know to feature you guys in episode 21. Now we'll move into section 2, which of course is heat on my feet. And for this week's episode, for episode 20, it is going to go to a nice little Jordan 1 here, which is the Jordan 1 Reds, the 2016 retro to be specific. I've been wearing these quite recently, especially on the colder days, and I don't know, it's something about the leather that they used, or maybe the internal lining, but these bad boys keep your feet warm in the colder seasons. In saying that, Jordan 1s normally do anyway, because they are an all-leather exterior with some nice, you know, interior as well. It does keep your feet quite warm, and it's also quite a hard shoe to wear in summer and the hotter seasons because of that exact same reasoning. I fell in love with these. I've absolutely beaten them up, as you can see by the, you know, like heel drag here, just like the wear and tear on them, but it's such a sick shoe, an easy to wear colorway, and I've been loving it this week. I'd love to hear from you guys though on what your heat on your feet this week is. What's a shoe, sneaker, boot, whatever that you've been enjoying over the past 7 days? Let me know down in that comment section below. We'll move on over now to section 3, which is my recent pickups. Now guys, section 3 is actually quite small this week. I've only got one thing that I've actually picked up since episode 19, but it's still something we definitely have to mention in this episode today. What I've picked up since episode 19 is the Capital Country NG colored, which is the new spring summer 2021 color of their iconic bandana jacket. It is modeled after the iconic Levi's, I think it's 1936 first jacket, which is a very cropped look when it comes to the denim jacket, you know, silhouettes. So this piece is quite cropped in itself. I bought it in a size 5 because I'm a big fella. Capital is a Japanese brand, it's going to be small, and even at the size 5, it does fit. I would literally say just. You can go watch my unboxing video and see how it fits on body, but this just fits me, I feel. But yeah, it's a super sick piece. I absolutely love it. I'm definitely keen to wear this in the warmer seasons, so towards the end of the year when Australia warms up a little bit. But it's a really sought after piece that I've been wanting for a while, and I'm super happy to say that I've picked it up, guys. I want to hear from you down in that comment section below though, on what you've recently been picking up. Has there been any pieces that you've picked up and you want to talk about? Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys have been picking up. We'll move on over now to our biggest section of episode 20, which of course is the recent releases. And now moving into the 4th section of the podcast, guys, we have recent releases. Now we'll be covering the streetwear and fashion releases that I've picked out first, and then we'll cover the sneaker releases. We'll be covering all the recent releases from the 9th of August to the 29th of August. So about 20 days worth of releases, almost a full month. Yeah, it's a bit rough. So we've got a bit to cover. I think we're only going to cover the brands that we normally talk about on the channel when it comes to the streetwear. The sneakers is a little bit more, I guess, free-flowing. I'm just going to pick whatever I thought was cool that released in that time. But yeah, let's get into the clothing releases first that happened in that time frame. So to kick it off, we had KITH releasing their Purpose Monday program on the 9th of the 6th. Some cool graphic tees, nothing too hectic about them, just some nice white tees. with a big old graphic on the chest. They were cool. Moving into the next KITH release that we had during that period, it is also one of the biggest releases that we're going to be talking about in this episode, and it is the KITH Hawaii opening, I guess, drop. In this drop, we got the Air Force One collab to commemorate the opening of this new flagship store. They've done this over the past couple flagship openings. They did it for their, their Tokyo opening, their France opening. They've done it for all of them so far. It just basically embodies a white Air Force One with some characteristics of the region that the flagship store is opened up in, and it's applied to the shoe. In this case, it was a nice ocean blue trim on the sock liner, as well as the actual Hawaii Islands on the actual branding tag on the tongue. I thought it was kind of cool. It's never something super crazy. It's always something subtle like this. It's an incredibly exclusive release. It only released at the flagship store. It didn't release on KITH Online. You had to be in Hawaii during coronavirus to pick it up. It's just like the Tokyo one as well. You had to be in Tokyo. With the Paris one, I think that one did release online because Paris was in a lockdown at the time of the store opening. I think, potentially, don't quote me on that. But yeah, KITH had that huge release, another solid Air Force One. When are we gonna see the KITH flagship store in Australia? I want to pick up a pair of the Air Force Ones with like a red and blue lining on the white. It could be fun. Or maybe Ronnie Feig would respect the traditional owners of the land and go with the Aboriginal flag for the Air Force Ones if he did an Australian one. I don't know. Either way, it was an awesome little release for the Hawaii drop. Yeah, let me know if you guys are a fan of the KITH Air Force Ones that they dropped for the Hawaii flagship store opening. But we'll move into now another big release, which is Travis Scott's collaboration with Fragment Designs to do a series of clothing. This released on the 13th of the 8th, which was the same date that the Lows dropped in. Now, why is this a big release to cover? You're probably like, yeah, we saw the Hiroshi Fujiwara Fragment Designs Travis Scott clothing. What's the big deal? Well, on top of that, he released a Mastermind collab and a couple other pieces as well, exclusively on his online store that we hadn't seen before. So we'd all seen, the Nike Fragment Designs Hiroshi Fujiwara like hoodie, t-shirt. I think there was some shorts as well. Well, yeah, in this on the 13th of August, Travis Scott released a Fragment Designs, his own brand, and then Mastermind collab on that date. It was pretty wild. It was covered in, I think it was either sequences or Swarovski crystals. I'm pretty sure it was sequences though, because that's just way too bougie. But yeah, it was a pretty crazy drop of clothing to celebrate the Lows being released, the Travis Scott 1 Jordan Lows. I thought it was alright. I just can't really justify the price. But yeah, let me know how you feel about those pieces. Up next, we had Supreme Week 1 releasing on the 19th of the 8th. In that drop, we got the dog bone, the pebbled leather varsity jacket, which I love. I really want to pick that up in either the black or the acid wash. The acid wash is my favorite though. And then we got the Rick Rubin photo tee as well. It was a big week, as all week ones are. Week 2 actually got delayed till this week, so that was quite interesting as well. So we're only getting one Supreme week during that huge 20-day period that we're covering in recent releases. But moving on to Palace Skateboards, we got a couple weeks in that 20-day period. To get off with, we got week 2 of their autumn 2021 collection. This featured the Adidas collaboration, which I wasn't really feeling. It released a bunch of pieces that I couldn't see myself wearing. They released a bathrobe, like all this other stuff. It was not a vibe for me. Moving into the third week, which released on the 20th of the 8th, we got not too many standout pieces. There was a cool utility jacket, but apart from that, there wasn't too much in week 3 I was feeling. Moving into the fourth week, which released on the 27th of the 3rd, we got a cool Coach's jacket. We got a varsity jacket, and we got a crew neck, all in collaboration with Stella Artois, the beer brand. They did a collaboration for week 4, and those were the standout pieces. A lot of you guys are really feeling the coach's jacket. For me, you knew it was the varsity. As soon as we saw that varsity, I was like, bang, I am on that. Then I saw the retail price of like £698 or something like that, and I was like, nah. maybe one day down the line, I'll pick it up. But like when I saw that retail price, I was like, God damn, that's expensive. Anyway, moving into our last recent streetwear release that we're going to be covering, OVO, or October's very own, Drake's clothing brand, or I guess his brand in general, collaborated with the University of Toronto to release a couple pieces. My favorite piece releasing in this capsule was the cool varsity jacket, featured a bunch of co-branding and things like that. I just thought it was a neat little capsule that I thought I'd just highlight in the recent releases, guys. But that is all the recent releases we're going to cover in the streetwear and fashion world. Let's move on to the recent sneakers that have been releasing. Now, kicking off the recent releases in the sneaker world, we have, well, a big one. We have that Off-White and Nike collaborated on the Dunk Low silhouette to do the 50 colorways they released. They released for $180 a pair, and they all released on the 9th of the 8th. And a lot of people are confused about like, oh wow, 50 colorways, why didn't they change? Well, why weren't they different colorways? Why was it all just like basically like different shades of white and then black for 50 and white for 1? Well, so the whole idea is that these 50 colorways are meant to represent the literal meaning of off-white, the color in between white and black. So yeah, Virgil's picked number 50 to be the darkest color out of the 50 silhouettes, number 1 to be the lightest, and slowly as you go through higher and higher in the numbers, it gets darker, the material gets more coarse and more rough. It's a cool premise when you have 50 of them. You could have done the same thing with 5 colorways, and there is no way in hell anyone, I'm talking any sneaker collector, has all 50 of the colorways, because that is 1, expensive to cop at retail, 2, basically impossible to cop at resale, and just purely collecting 50 pairs would just be bonkers. It would just be so wild. Look, I don't mind a couple of the colorways that have come out, but I'm very happy staying away from this release. Moving on though. Next we had that Vans Vault collaborated with, is it Jound? Is that how you pronounce it? Like the J, Ound? It's just Jound, isn't it? They collaborated on some skate mids for $150 on the 10th of August. It released in black, brown, or green. Nice colors. Don't know why they did them on a mid. Usually you pick the high silhouette when they do when brands do collabs with Vans, but go for the skate mid if you want, fellas. Do whatever you want, I suppose. Next, we had another collaboration. We had Nike and Sakai collaborating on some blazer lows. These released in a British color, or British low colorway, I think it was. $120 was the retail price on the 10th of the 8th. It was a mixture of browns with a little bit of red on this one. Colorway was alright. I'm actually more interested in this, I guess, color blocking than the previous blazer lows that Sakai and Nike have done, because the previous Sakai blazer lows, the color blocking was alright, but I definitely think they've done better with this one. I think they've just chosen worse colors for this one. So we're almost there. Maybe the third collab, they'll grab the good elements from the first lot of colorways, the good elements from these second lot of colorways, and we'll get a nice little final project on the third collab. We can only hope, but yeah, not really feeling the brown and red on this one. Next, we move into a Nike Dunk Low release. We had the Nike Dunk Low SE Sail Multi Camos, released for $110 on the 11th of August. Now, these released in full family sizing from what I know. Babies, toddlers, grade school. What's after grade school? Men's? I honestly can't. Kids? Either way. And it also released in women's, I think, as well. With the kids pairs, or I think maybe even the toddler pairs, the camo slightly changing. But yes, it is a Dunk Low covered in various different camos and a little bit of sail as well. It's alright. it's not doing too much for me. I kind of would have liked each different model to change completely, like, I mean, totally different for each different size. So you could have like the babies rocking a different camo, the grade school kids rocking a different camo, and then the parents rocking a different camo. I don't know, that'd be kind of cool. Either way, as I mentioned, these released for $110 US on the 11th of August. Next, we had a women's release. We had the women's Nike Dunk High Rebel Michigans. Now, I wanted to bring these up because this is another new silhouette for the Dunks. We had the women's Nike Dunk High Rebel, and it was in the Michigan colorway, a colorway from the Be True to Your School pack from 1985. But it just looks really wacky when done on this like different Dunk silhouette. I personally would have just liked them to do the Michigans for women's only. Like, I don't know why we're doing this new weird rebel silhouette or whatever. A bunch of other colorways came out for that same silhouette. I didn't even want to mention them because it's just wacky, man. Nike, just release Dunk Highs. Don't do these like weird, I guess, modern versions of the retro silhouettes. Keep them how they are. It's very, very odd, I think. Anyway, moving into another women's exclusive release, we had the women's Air Jordan 1 High Seafoam colorway release for $170 US on the 12th of August. I actually quite like the colorway of them, but they came with some wacky laces by default, like these like red trim laces. They're Jordan 1s, so they'll definitely come with alternate laces, and I will definitely be switching them over if I was to ever get the women's pair. But yeah, odd choice of colors for laces there, Jordan brand. I don't really know what you were planning to go for there. Anyway, next we had, as we just mentioned when we covered the clothing, we have on the 13th of August, the Travis Scott Fragment Nike, or maybe I should say Jordan brand, Air Jordan 1 Lows. Now these were the low-cut version of the highs that we saw a week before. I think I'm a fan of the lows more than the highs. I don't want to say for certain. You guys may disagree, may think the highs are better, but I kind of like the color blocking on the lows with these fragment pairs than the highs. I don't feel the same way when it comes to the normal Travis Scott ones. Definitely like the highs more than the lows. But the fragment ones, yeah, those lows are kind of hitting though. I really like that the swoosh is the same color as the laces. That just really speaks to me. I don't know. I think it's a really cool little low collab there. Released for $150 US, and it released on the 13th of the 8th. Next, we move into another Air Jordan release. Actually, quite coincidentally, I'm recording this video on a Wednesday, and this works perfectly for this upcoming Air Jordan 1. We have the Air Jordan 1 High Hollands for $170 US on the 14th of August. We're not calling them the Pollens, they're the Wu-Tang ones. They're the Wu-Tang ones, and it's Wednesday, it's Wu Wednesday, so yeah, no, that actually works out pretty well. Look, I love this colorway. I love the use of tumbled leather on the specific panels. I think it's sick. I would love to pick it up. Hopefully in the future I can. It doesn't seem to be going for too much because not a lot of people like that like really in your face yellow, but I'm kind of digging it, man. And like as a Wu-Tang fan, I'm kind of digging it because of that as well. I'm not going to be one of those guys, or at least I'm going to say that now. I hope I'm not going to be one of those guys that grabs a stencil and like spray paints the Wu-Tang Clan logo on the back of it or on the side of it. I don't think I'm going to do that, but I do like the color combo. Maybe if it comes at a nice price, I'll pick it up. But yeah, I thought that would definitely be worth mentioning on the channel, and it's lucky that we're doing the video on a Wednesday to talk about it. So moving on, we had another women's release. We had the women's Nike Dunk Low Yellow Strike and Purple Pulse colorways released for $110 US on the 18th of August. These were like these like tie-dye colors applied to the Dunk Lows. They're all right. I definitely think it was a smart move of Nike to release these for the women's sizing, because I definitely think these colors work better with the color schemes of women's outfits versus men's. Sorry, fellas. I just think tie-dye looks better on chicks. Sorry. Not saying you can't wear it. I'm just saying that's how I see it. That's how I see it. But anyway, these are all right. I wasn't really feeling them too much. They're all right. I prefer my solid colors. Like, you know, give me like 2 colored shoes or something like that. I don't know how I feel about like patterns and stuff like this where it's like tie-dye and stuff. That's where it gets a little bit too hectic for me. Next, we move into probably one of the best women's collab Jordans that I have seen, maybe even this year. That's a big call to make, but maybe this year. We have that I don't know if I can say her name, but is it Alea May and Jordan Brand collaborated on the Air Jordan 14s on a Fortune colorway, and these released for $190 on the 19th of August. I'm a fan of these. I love the colorway. I love the Jordan 14s. They're sick. I'm really happy to see collabs being done on the 14s because it's an overlooked model. I'm glad that she picked something that isn't the Jordan 1s. She originally picked the Jordan 1s to collab on like way before they blew up to this like TikTok shoe status. Like, she was on the ball. Yeah, no, love this collab. Definitely keep it up. I would love to see more of her collaborations with Jordan Brand. Moving on, we had that Nike released the Nike Dunk High 85s or 1985s in the red acid wash colorway for $130 on the 9th of the 8th. Look, oh sorry, on the 19th? On the 19th of the 8th. So 19th of August. Look, it was cool when Undercover did this silhouette, but now when Nike's doing it by itself with its weird acid wash colors on it, nah. we should leave it to the genius Japanese designers to mess with this silhouette. Because yeah, I don't know why, is Nike just like trying to think like, man, everyone's sick of dunk highs and dunk lows. So if we do like the Dunk High 1985s and that weird Dunk High Rebel, people will start liking them again? Is that their thought process? I don't know, because I'm not liking them. I just want Nike to stick with the retro silhouette that we know and love. I don't know why we're doing these like weird, slightly alternate versions. Either way, they released a red acid wash colorway of it. I wasn't feeling this one at all. Next, we had the Air Jordan 12 Utility colorway. I gotta say, a very dark Air Jordan 12 colorway. It's just black with a little bit of grey, and I think there's a hint of red in there from memory as well. But I'm just happy to see Air Jordan 12 releases. It's just refreshing to see other releases of Air Jordan models that aren't the Jordan 1s. Like, I don't know if anyone else is tired of them. I'm pretty tired of them, and I was like, I'm, as you can see, heavily into them. It's just nice to see something different, and this was a nice, easy to wear Air Jordan 12 that released for, how much did it release for? It released for $190 on the 21st of August. I had fun with this one. If you want a simple, easy to wear Air Jordan 12 colorway, this one's for you. Next, we had the Air Jordan 1 Low. I know I was just dissing the Air Jordan 1s, but this one's a really nice colorway. We have the Air Jordan 1 Low Starfish colorway released for $130 on the 26th of August. This was essentially the Chicago Air Jordan 1 Lows, but instead of the nice red, we've got it replaced with a Starfish Orange. I like this. I wish they did it in the low OG silhouette with the correct amount of eyelets, big swoosh, etc., etc. But I would be very interested in picking this up because they at least got the branding correct with the Wings logo on the back and Nike Air on the front. I'm looking at these. I'm definitely keeping tabs on them, but it's really hard to find them in a size 16 or 17. So let me know if you guys see any listings for that around. Send them my way, but yeah, kind of hard to find these ones in my size, but a very solid low colorway for sure. Next, we had the New Balance Casablanca XC 72s. I don't know what the hell this color, this sneaker was until I looked it up, and it looks like they're a pair of like Waffle runners. From what it looks like, it looks like it's heavily inspired by the Nike Waffle runners. These released on the 27th of the 8th, and they released in two colorways. The red and yellow, which is not my favorite colorway, and then a second one, which is the white, orange, and green for $150. I was feeling this colorway more, and what is quite surprising is that this collaboration came in my size. Very rare for collab sneakers to come in my size at all. Kind of tempted in picking that second colorway up because it was kind of nice. I could think of a couple fits for it. Yeah, I'll have to look into that because the prices are actually pretty good on the secondary market for that one. Speaking about New Balance though, we have another collaboration up next. We have the Concepts X New Balance 57-40s. in the Heading Home colorway. So from what I know, this is inspired by a 1920s silent film that I know absolutely nothing about, because as much as I love films, I have not watched early 20th century films. Maybe one day I'll get around it, but this sneakers colorway is inspired by that. It released for $150 and it released on the 27th of the 8th. I mean, it actually just looks like an alright color blocked 57-40, but I wish I understood the influence a little bit more. Maybe I'll have to go watch the film and then come back to it. It's like everyone with the Undercover Fall Winter 2019 season. Gotta go watch the Clockwork Orange. Next, we've got another collab. We've got the Stussy x Birkenstock vlog collab. This is probably a very hyped up collaboration, to be honest. I saw a lot of the archive page, well, not the archive pages, but the curation pages posting about this. These released for $185 and they released on the 27th of August. They released in 3 colorways: a bone, a pink, and a caramel. They're nice. Nothing too much has changed about it. It's really just got the Stussy logo impressed into the side of it and probably on the insole as well. Nothing really too crazy here. Next we had the Adidas and Neighborhood Campus SS805 collaboration release for $180 on the 28th of the 8th. These released in 2 colorways. You could either get them in a black or a dark green, and from memory they didn't have any laces in them, or the laces were like weirdly done. Yeah, an odd collab for that one. Next we had that Nike, Sakai, and Fragment Designs, I know, 3 brands, they collaborated on a pair of LD Waffle SFs in the Blue Void colorway. As much as I was just saying, wow, 3 brands, come on, what are you doing? This colorway is really, really solid. And there's a second colorway coming out too. Yeah, look, I like these, but this is, apparently this is an ongoing trend. We're going to get 3-way collabs from Nike, and specifically Fragment Designs and Nike, quite a bit. So get ready for that, guys. These released for, yeah, $170 on the 27th of August. Next we had the Nike Dunk High 1985s make a reappearance in another acid wash color, this time around in a black acid wash. Still not feeling this as much. It released for $130 on the 28th of the 8th. Next we had a Yeezy release, the first Yeezy release in 20 days, I think, at least. I think that's the case. We got the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Lite. It released for $220 on the 28th of August. Pretty stock standard Yeezy colorway for this one, nothing too crazy. Next we had the Air Jordan 4 Lightnings that released for $220 on the 28th of August. I've seen photos of the original retro and it looks way better. The modern one isn't too bad, but it just doesn't look right. Yeah, a lot of people that have seen the originals are not feeling them. A lot of people that have seen them now are sort of feeling them. I don't know. It's very mixed and split down the middle on how we feel about this colorway retro. And last but not least, we had on the 29th of August, we had the Air Jordan 6 Low Dongdan colorway release for $190. This was kind of like a, I guess, a rainbow translucent colorway attached to white upper leather, I think, as well, if I remember this release correctly. It was, yeah, it was odd. It was like a trend, like it was a gradient of color. It started off, I think, orange, moving to yellow on the inner panel, and then it was white leather on the external panels there. It's alright. The Air Jordan 6 Low was a very weird looking shoe. Like, I love the 6 highs. Lows, though, we should keep it high. It just looks weird low. I don't know, maybe you guys feel differently about the Jordan 6 lows, but I think they look a bit funky. Anyway, that's everything I wanted to talk about in section 4 of the podcast today. So we'll move on now and have a look at section 5 and see what the rumors are in the streetwear and fashion world. Moving into section 5, guys, streetwear and fashion news and rumors. Let's dive in. So to kick it off with, we have that famous streetwear clothing brand, or just brand in general, Chinatown Market, has renamed. They announced this earlier on in the year. I think it was around March they announced it. I actually didn't think they were going to go through with it. I'm going to be real. I thought it was just like a I don't know, they're very, like, they are very jokey, like, satirical over there, so I thought maybe it was just a meme. No, they actually did it. So, they renamed from Chinatown Market to just Market. I know, wild. Look, I don't know the reason for the name change. A lot of people are like, wow, woke culture has ruined something again, but I don't know if you could quickly blame it to that. I don't think that's the case. I don't know, maybe it was easier to get collaborations with big time brands, because big time brands would be more interested in seeing them collaborate with a brand called Market versus Chinatown Market. There had to be some logical reason of why they did this. So, I mean, obviously it's to increase sales or do something, so I'm feeling it's more the case that I just mentioned, where maybe there were brands that didn't want to collab with them because of their name, and like, it is their goal as a brand to collaborate with said brand, so they had to change for that. I don't know, man. Either way, they've changed. They're releasing stuff under this new name. We've just got to deal with that. Next, we've got that Adidas is selling Reebok off for 2.5 billion. So just a little bit. Yes, they've officially announced that they are selling it off. Personally, I think it'll probably be a good thing, because depending on whoever takes, I don't know who they're selling it to, but depending on what this person does, or, you know, brand or whoever's buying it, does with Reebok, hopefully it's something in the positive, you know, light, because I feel like Reebok's kind of been pushed under the rug over the past, like, I would say even decade. It'd be nice to see Reebok come back and, you know, get big time celebrities, big time athletes on board, release some new solid silhouettes and shoes. That's just how I feel about it. But yeah, it's being sold off. 2.5 billion was the price tag there. Next, we have one of the big topics we're going to be talking about this episode, is that Louis Vuitton, to celebrate its, I think it was 200th birthday, or something like that. It was some celebration. Made an iPhone game. So you can play as a little character. You can run around the Louis Vuitton world and discover Louis Vuitton's history through this world. Look, I personally have not downloaded it or checked it out, but I thought it was pretty wild that a huge fashion house released a mobile game. When are we getting things like Gucci Clicker, or, you know, like Balenciaga Run or something like that? I can like see it now in the future, man. It's gonna happen. Or major labels are gonna collaborate with brands that already have, video games that already have clothing in them, and do pieces for them and stuff like that. That's gonna be the future. Either way, we're getting digital designer stuff now these days. Next, we have a little leak / rumor. We have that Human Made and Lil Uzi Vert are collaborating. Uzi Vert was handing out some free samples of this collab in New York City, but we have no official release date as of the time of recording this. But this could be cool. Like, I like Lil Uzi Vert. I like his, I guess, his attitude when it comes to fashion and clothing and everything like that. So I feel like this will be like a fun, upbeat collaboration that we'll get from them both, but we'll just have to see. That's everything I've got for section 5, guys, so let's move on to section 6 and see what's happening in the sneaker news and rumors world. Section 6, guys, we have sneaker news and rumors. To kick it off, we have a huge 3-way collab coming up in 21 colorways. Let's talk about it. We have that the Nike, Off-White, Louis Vuitton Air Force 1s are releasing in 21 colorways. I don't know what to say to that, man. I don't know what to say to that. I think the 3-way collab specifically here, too excessive. I think most of the colorways are ugly. I think this whole like monogram print on the Air Force 1 is not a good time. We're here. It's 2021. We're getting Louis Vuitton Air Force 1s. Like, oh my god, can we not? Can we not, please? It's just gone too far. It's gone too far. Yeah, look, I'm not a fan of these. I'd love to know your thoughts on it, guys. But, yeah, it's a wild, wild ride. Moving on, we have that Travis Scott has showcased 2 new colorways of his Air Jordan 6s. We've seen, initially, we saw a blue colorway, and now we've seen a mocha colorway. This is different from the British tan, or the British khaki, or whatever the second colorway was called. Yeah, it's more coffee colored, I would say. yeah, these two colorways, no confirmed releases, could be friends and family, whatever, but they have been showcased to us, so I thought I would bring it up in section 6 today, guys. Speaking of Travis Scott, though, it'll be included in our next piece we're going to be covering. Travis Scott's Air Jordan 1 Low release with Fragment Designs. 3 million bot entries to the raffle for that release on his website were deleted, and still none of us got a pair. None of us got a pair. Yeah, I thought it was pretty wild. It really just shows you that it's impossible to buy good sneakers these days, or like hyped sneakers these days. Because I should refrain from saying that. You totally can buy good sneakers these days, but hyped sneakers, the price you pay is whatever resale is going for right now. But yeah, how grim's that? 3 million bot entries were deleted, and that's not even including the ones that successfully got through or weren't deleted. What is the sneaker culture these days, guys? I'll tell you what. More Travis Scott news. Travis Scott has showcased his Air Max 1s that he's been working on. Initially, we saw these in a brown colorway. We saw them appearing on feet, but now we've got a look at another colorway that we haven't seen him actually wear, which is the yellow colorway. This one, I think I prefer the brown colorway more, but it features all these like tactical looking elements to the Air Max 1s. These are rumored to release next year in 2022, so maybe he's playing around with colorways at the moment to decide on which colorway is releasing first, but I thought I'd just bring it up in today's episode that we've seen a new colorway of that shoe. Next, we have that Kerwin Frost teases his new wacky Adidas collaboration. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. You guys can have a look at it. Hopefully it's a meme and he's just joking around like he normally does with his, kidding self and, his playful self. But this could actually also honestly release. And, I mean, I don't know if I'm down for that, man. This is just whack. This is just so odd. Yeah, odd collab. Anyway, our last bit of sneaker news and rumors is that we have another 3-way collaboration between Nike and Sakai. What we are getting is potentially some Nike Sakai Undercover LD Waffle lows. These have been showcased to us in 2 colorways as of yet. They're not confirmed to be released. It's just rumors and I guess like early pairs at the moment. But it could be coming. I'm a huge fan of Undercover. You guys know I love Undercover Japan. Jun Takahashi is just amazing. So I'd be keen to see more collaborations with Nike with him, honestly. And if Sakai gets thrown in, Sakai gets thrown in to add to this awesome collab. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about the sneaker news and rumors, guys. So we'll move on over now to section 7, which is upcoming streetwear releases. Now moving into the upcoming streetwear releases that happened between the 30th of August and the 5th of September, we have, to kick it off with, KITH released a Wilson Collab Monday program. I'm so glad I got to cover it in this podcast episode because I felt like I did a streetwear talk video about some KITH Wilson tennis rackets and tennis balls. It would just feel so out of whack for the channel, so I'm glad I'm covering it here instead. These released on the 30th of August. I wasn't feeling this because I don't play tennis, so it was a miss for me. Next we had the Balenciaga Kanye West collaboration, the other big release we were talking about. What does this mean? Well, it's actually a bit of a lie. It's how the fashion, I guess, news pages are posting about it, but the creative director of men's Balenciaga, Demna Gvasalia, he collaborated with Kanye to do the live performances, the listening parties, the merch for the listening parties. He technically is the creative director of Balenciaga, so you can say Balenciaga collabed with Kanye West, but yeah, a lot of places are just doing that just to get you to click on the articles and stuff. They released these short, long sleeve combo tees and some caps and stuff. I wasn't really feeling any of this. It's not going to be printed on like high quality Balenciaga garments. It's going to be done on like, well, maybe it is. Maybe they're going to surprise me and they're actually going to do it on high quality stuff. But I think it's going to be done on like Gildan tees and stuff. Just like this hoodie is here, And it's the same scenario. Like you could say this hoodie is a Takashi Murakami, Off-White, Virgil Abloh, Kanye West Kid Cudi collab hoodie when technically it's, I mean, yeah, it is, but it's not. Anyway, yeah, not really feeling the merch for Donda, but yeah, Demna Gvasalia did some Donda merch. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of Donda, we have another release to coincide with it. We have ASAP Bari's Endless Denim releasing 2 pairs on the same day that Donda released. These were worn by Kanye before the actual performance itself. I'm not buying Endless Denim because Endless Denim runs you $1,800 US. Released on the 30th of August, and you either got it in a black and white colorway or a black with green colorway. I'm not feeling either, man. It's just whack. It's just Bari asking 1,800 for denim. Not even Capital asks for that much, man. And like Capital puts a lot of effort in their cheats. Like, I can't justify it. Anyway, moving on, we have our favorite New York skating brand, Supreme, releasing their second week of their Fall/Winter 2021 collection. We have releasing in this week the New York Yankees collab, which I would love to cover in a Streetwear Talk video after this. Hopefully I can get around to doing that. Yeah, not really feeling this week. But the collab does have some pieces that are kind of cool in it. So anyway, we'll dive into that in a Streetwear Talk video if I get around to doing that, or the drop list video if that's, you know, the next video that I do. Next we had, for our last upcoming Streetwear release, we have that Palace is releasing their, is it 4th week? Is the 4th week, is that the, did we talk about that? Is the 4th week already? I can't remember. Is it the 4th or 5th week? Either, it might be the 5th week. I don't know. They're releasing a Cannondale collab, which is a biking brand. They're releasing that on the 3rd of September. Personally, I'm not feeling any of the pieces that I've seen, but I will go into further detail about that when we cover it in the drop list video. And by then, hopefully, I'll know which week it is. If it's week 4 or 5. I think it is week 5. It is week 5. It's got to be, right? Anyway, let's move on. We've finished up section 7, guys. Let's move into section 8, which will be the upcoming sneaker releases for the same time period. Moving into our final section of our podcast series, guys, we have upcoming sneaker releases between the 30th of August and the 5th of September. Kick it off with, we have a pair of Dunk Low SE New York versus New York, or NY versus NY colorway releasing. It's releasing for $110 US on the 31st of August. Not really feeling this one. Next, we've got the Nike Dunk Low Georgetown colorway releasing for it looks like $110 US on the 2nd of September. Not feeling these either. And next we move into the women's Air Jordan 4 Shimmer colorway that's releasing on the 3rd of September for around about, I think it's 190-ish US. These I'm feeling. I think this women's collab is sick. It's a nice, simple colorway of the Air Jordan 4. I think this is kind of dope. Next, we have the Air Jordan 6 Hordos releasing for $190 US on the 4th of September. It's an Air Jordan 7 colorway applied to the Air Jordan 6s. It actually works kind of well with the color blocking of the 6s. It's not too shabby. Let me know how you feel about that colorway being applied here. Next, we have the Nike Fragment Designs Dunk High Japan exclusive. This is releasing for $170 US on the 5th of the 9th, so the 5th of September, the Sunday. It's a Japan exclusive. It's meant to be true to your city. That's the images that Hiroshi Fujiwara is posting on his IG. It's alright. I think it's a okay colorway. It's a kind of cool exclusive. But yeah, that's everything I have to say in upcoming sneaker releases, guys. They're all the sneaker releases I have written down for this upcoming week. Let me know how you feel about any of those releases down in that comment section below. But that is it, guys. That is everything to really talk about and cover in episode 20. I would love to know all your thoughts and opinions on any of the releases. How did you feel about the big major 3 releases that we talked about? KITH doing a Hawaii colorway of their Air Force 1s, Balenciaga or Demna collaborating with Kanye to do some Donda merch, or the LV video game. Let me know about any of the releases I covered or missed out down in that comment section below. And of course, if you guys want me to keep doing these weekly podcast videos, don't forget to leave a big old like on this video, a comment in that comment section down below, and a subscribe to the channel, as that's the best indicator that you can give me to see more content like this on the channel. We're trying to hit 3,055 subscribers before the end of September, guys. It's a new month. Let's see if we can hit that milestone before the end of the month. But that's everything to be said about episode 20, guys. So until the next Sneakers and Stuff episode, until the next sneaker talk video, until the next streetwear talk video, I'll catch you later.